Hey, everyone, know her show, and do I have a treat for you today? I am circling back with Teresa Paul from Hides in Hand. She has made some significant changes in her business with this pandemic. I'm excited to talk to her about that. I'm so excited to talk to her about Hides in Hand, all of her creativity, all of the joy she brings to people with her beautiful products. And I'm just so excited because it's been a while since I chatted with her. So if you guys caught the interview I did earlier this year, you'll know what I'm talking about. We're going to reconnect with Teresa now. And if you happen to be watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. We would love that. And I'm going to bring Teresa on right now. There she is.
Hi, Monzi.
Teresa, oh my God. You know what? I was just saying this is a circle back interview because when I first had this idea to interview strong, inspiring businesswomen such as yourself, well, the first person I thought of was you. I got to interview you right off the bat. So you were, I think, my second interview that I did. And I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I was talking to you. I had you on speakerphone. We didn't even get to see your beautiful face. So this is amazing. Thank you for coming back and doing it again.
Of course.
That's great. So when we were doing our sound check, I said, wow, I love all that stuff behind you. You got to tell the peeps what it is.
These are all lanyards from every trade show I've done pretty much in my life. I'm sure I'm missing the odd one or two, but years and years of trade shows and craft shows and all that stuff. Wow. And some shows, they're like, you have to turn in your badge to reuse it for next year, right? And I'm like, oh, I already did. Little white lie. It's like, I can't. Like, this
you
is like
need
a badge
them.
Of honor. You know,
of course it is. And you're not doing like little shows locally. You're flying all over the place.
Yeah. Coast to coast.
Yeah.
Well, Vancouver to Alberta, and then Vancouver, Alberta, and then I have done East Coast in the past. Not so much anymore, but yeah, big shows.
Wow. Yeah. So big changes for you, Teresa. But before we get into the big changes, I want to ask you the question I ask everybody. I want to know what little Teresa wanted to be when she grew up. What was your dream, or even if you had like an entrepreneurial thought early in life that you remember?
I think it would have, if it was early in life, like as a kid.
Yeah.
But I don't know why people on the beach wouldn't buy my sand patties, my sand cupcakes and stuff. I was making things on the beach because I really wanted to bake and make cookies and
that's awesome.
I'm buying these mud pies. What's going on? It's beautiful. And I have shells on them and sticks and seaweed to make it pretty. So, I think at a very early age, I'm going to say that was probably the first thing I wanted to do was like bake, because I grew up in that household of strong domesticated skills, right? With my mother.
Yes.
My grandmother lived with me, with us our whole life too. My grandmother lived in our home, so I had my babcha and my mom, very strong matriarchs. And mom had a cottage when we were young, up until I was about 13 years old. And we were right on the water. So mom was a bit of an entrepreneur herself. My dad had built these surfboards, but they kind of weren't like real surfboards, like surfboard boards. They're kind of like these long, flat, long, skinny triangular kind of like floating devices that we would rent. You get a paddle with it, you kind of paddle out. So my mom would it was like Rini's A1 surfboards on Sega Beach, right? So mom would be doing that, and then, well, it was under her name, but she'd make the kids go out there and rent the surfboards, and we had to rent the boards, and then have binoculars on in the lake and see, I think that's that person that rented them like at 12 o'clock. They got to come in now, and so that was kind of like my very first introduction to business. I'm going to
Oh my
say.
gosh.
It was fun, and it was
Yeah.
outdoors, and it was, it was a fun thing. It wasn't like, I remember when my kids started working here, like this, like slave labor. They're having to cut and sew and package and tape and do all these
Yeah.
horrible, disgusting jobs, right? It wasn't that was, I think I scared my kids for life with this kind of work here at the shop. But for
Yeah.
me, it was something fun. So being out in the water all the time, renting these surfboards, making, mud pies and patty cakes, and that was kind of my first real crack at it, I guess.
Yeah. So I guess, did you guys spend summers up there in Wasaga Beach?
Every year. And then when I was 12,
Mm-hmm.
so the 2 summers in a row, 12 and 13, I worked up in Wasaga Beach at this lodge called Saga Lodge. Since then, it's burnt down and reconstructed, and it's not as much as it was used to be. So my sister Lena and I were I think my mom farmed us out. No, I think my aunt farmed us out. My Polish aunt, poor Chocha Helen, right? She's like, okay, the children they have to work. Right? And Tereska, she looks like she could be 16. So my aunt knew the owners of Saga Lodge, right?
Okay.
My aunt said to the owners, I have 2 strong girls for you that are going to work, because it was like a camp. Seriously, a camp. We would work there, and we would be there. So guests would come in for the whole week, and the whole week would be, they would have breakfast, lunch, and dinner in the dining room, and then they go to the beach during the day or whatever. And then at night they would have, like, there was like a park on the grounds and a campfire. So we would have to make like s'mores, and so we kind of worked. We were given a section of the restaurant, and so in that section we might have had maybe 10 tables kind of thing, and those tables, those families sat at that same table all week. So you get to know the Joneses and the Smiths and the this and that. So you got to know these people. I was 12. Now I'm slugging grilled cheese sandwiches and whatever, right? But it was fun, right? It was fun, and I loved it. Like, I absolutely loved it, because we got to stay there. It was like we room and boarded there, and but it was fun. I mean, like, I'm interacting with people and kids and playing in the playground. I was only 12 myself, but because as tall as I am now, as 6 feet, I was as tall back then too, right?
Yeah.
So, Tereska, you're going to work at the restaurant, and you're going to make the food for the peoples and the children and the families. I'm like, okay, I'm going to work. So I loved it so much. I went back for the next year when I was 13, and I would sneak out at night, because then, not so much now, then they had the Midway all summer long.
Oh, nice.
Remember Conklin, the Conklin Roadshow, like all the rides and the games and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So Conklin was running the show there, and that Midway ran to, like, midnight, 1, 2 in the morning, whatever, right? So I got to be friends with one of the waitresses, and her and I, we would everybody has to be in bed at a certain time, especially because we were so young, right? So I was in bed by like 9 o'clock, whatever, right? So I would like pretend I'm sleeping, right, and have the covers up, right? And then once the owners, Mr. and Mrs. Kent, would do their room check, everybody's in bed, sleep, that's it. We would like stuff the bed, make it look like there was a person, like in prison, right?
This is great. I'm like, this is like a movie. I love this story.
I know. We would make the bed like we're laying there, right? Yeah. And we put a doll head at the front to make it look like hair or something, whatever. and we'd scoot out the back door, and we'd run across the bridge. It was just like a bridge away, and we'd hang out at the Midway like a bunch of hooligans, right? But we got to know the boys, and the boys knew we were like awfully young for any kind of shenanigans. But they would give us all the tickets for skee ball and air hockey and the rides. So we would the boys would just give us all the tickets, and we would just eat ice cream at midnight and ice cream sandwiches and corn dogs and play all those fun summer Midway games and rides and Ferris wheels and stuff, right?
And you never got caught?
Well, I did get caught. So when I was 13, one of the boys from the Midway, he came back to the camp to where we were, and I said, well, there's a swing set in the backyard, right? I'm 13. I don't know nothing about boys. I mean, at that time I was right? And I was so deathly afraid of my mom and my aunt and Mr. and Mrs. Kent, because the Kents were German, my mother's Polish. So it was just like, okay, we're not messing with this one, right? So I said to the boy, I said, we're going to go back to and just play on the swings, right? So we went back after the midway closed, and we were just singing. We're just sitting on the swings and just swinging away and whatever. Well, doesn't Mr. Kent come out with, seriously, like a broom, right? Was ist this, boys, here? Get out, get out, get out. And that poor guy ran, I think, right into the bay, for crying out loud, right? So like I was great forever, but it was so worth it.
Wow.
That was like, you know, when I was just, like I said, such a kid still, right? 12 and 13.
Yeah, but so magical.
It was. Oh, and I to this day, I love Wasaga Beach. It is my favorite place to be. When Mom sold the cottage, you know, she had a place in Oakville that was on the lake, so I understood, you know, but it was just like, so like, I think it was, if I need to zen out or just go for a drive or enjoy, you know, the tropics are nice, but for, you know, that nice fix, I'm going to Wasaga. I always say retire there. It's just kind of my place, you know? Yeah.
We have so much history there. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well, Teresa, you've been working so hard. I mean, I can't even. So there's a couple things, but one of the things I love about you so much is that I don't even know how you do everything you do, and you never miss a beat. Like, you are so in tune with what's happening, what's coming up next, what do my customers need, what can I create, how do I, and your whole, you really serve others in your business. That's what you do constantly. And is that something you learned as a child, or because I think for a lot of us as creators, when you're artistic, you create based on what influences you. And sometimes it's hard. I mean, there's artists with big egos where their customers are saying, hey, I want red. And they're going, well, I only make blue. I don't do red. Right. Mm-hmm. But you're not like that. You will always give the customer what they want, what they're looking for.
Pretty much. I mean, if it's within reach for me, not beyond. Like, sometimes I'll get the customer that says, you know, do you do custom? I'm like, well, it depends, right? So something out of my line that we could alter or switch, then okay. But they'll say, well, I want this bag, and it has to be this big by this big. It has to have these many pockets and this zipper and this lining and this hardware and this. I'm like, no, like, that's a little bit too much. To design one only bag, there's so much R&D that goes into that. It's just so costly, right? It just takes so much time, and I'm the one that designs them. I'm the one that makes them initially, right? And then I share with my team how to, you know, do the steps to make them in production. But for the most part, you know what, my customers, the customers that know Heights in Hand know pretty much where my limitations are. I'm pretty easygoing that way.
No, it's good. And I wondered if that was something you learned, like, from your mom, or you seem to be able to, like, when I look at you and I know what's going on, and now, you know, all the stress, like the production that challenges you have, but you're still producing new things. So to me, it's like, when you've got all of this on you, how are these ideas even born? You know, I don't think you're getting to spend, you know, weekends at Wasaga Beach every weekend to relax right now. And I remember when the pandemic first started, it was like, okay, we're on day 35 of making masks, you know, 24/7. So
yeah. You know what? I again, raised by they were pretty creative with everything, whether it was, I'm going to say mostly like the domestic skills, mostly in the kitchen and mostly with sewing. So in the kitchen, my mom, man, oh man, she could stretch out a meal. Like, she could buy like a roast, and it was lasting us for like, you know, 18 weeks.
Wow.
And 45 meals, you know. Yeah. No. But you know what I mean? Like, so my mom was always, she was very, she's very smart that way, and she knew how to stretch things out and make the most, and then some out of something, right? And I think I learned that from her. With sewing, like especially in the kitchen, yes. So I'm a master in the kitchen. I love to cook. If I could cook every day for people for the rest of my life, that's where I would be happiest. After that is definitely my sewing. But yeah, like I said in my bio, and I've said it so many times before, like when I was little, my grandmother was, she was sewing, and I could just see, and I saw what she made. Like she didn't have a pattern, she didn't have like paper patterns and stuff. Like she just cut it out, drew it, and just it was just magic happening right there at the table. And she's doing it, all of a sudden, here comes the skirt. And oh man! So I was really highly impressed and just like soaked into that something out of nothing. And that's pretty much how I work here. Like I can make something not out of nothing, but I can pretty much, like if I have an idea in my head, if my grandmother had an idea in the head, or they needed something to do to survive, or to, like mom had, she had 5 kids, 4 girls. That's a lot of frilly skirts and, you know, blouses and dresses at that time. So, I think I just watched them do it. I just watched how they did it. It was right in front of me. Being able to help in the kitchen, or able to help, ripping seams apart or pleating things or doing whatever I could do at a young age. That's kind of just kind of got into my blood and got into my soul, and that always stuck with me. So when I took on Hides and Hands 25 years ago, again, I'm starting something that I knew I would have carte blanche to, no limitations. I'm not working for anybody that says, well, you only have a budget of this and you can only do so much this and so much that. Like I knew I could just start. I knew I would just start and go, and I knew it would be successful because of the way I think, the way I can create, the way I can, I work really well under pressure. I work really well with 10,000 things. Like if I don't have a lot of things on my plate, less gets done. If I got a lot on my plate, more gets done. So that's kind of how I've always been. And I think that's just how I watched my mom and my grandmother. Like, it's a big family to feed, and not, there's 1 or 2, have a bowl of cereal. But if it's a big family, then you're creating something, big and voluminous and whatever, right? So
oh, that's so great.
Yeah,
I love that. And I love the whole visual of it as you're speaking, because I can just see, the magic of your mom and your grandmother just like constantly coming out of those hands, right?
Oh yeah.
It's like this beautiful energy, and like you said, you just know it. You can create, you can make something, it's going to be successful. It's that's the gift they gave you, it's so beautiful.
And working with so much, like we're Polish, and Polish German, but we were raised more Polish. So just a lot of the traditional, traditional meals and traditional dishes that aren't mainstream. So now you're challenged with something that's not so mainstream. So, but for me to make, pierogies and cabbage rolls and things, I blindfolded my hands behind my back. But to others, that would be like so challenging, right? So, we did, like I said, getting away from mainstream, getting into traditional dishes. I think I learned a lot from that too. Don't just do what everybody else is doing. Stick to what you love. Stick to your culture. Stick to your roots. Stick to what feels good. It makes you feel good. And I've kind of just taken that all the way through my everyday, day-to-day jobs here at the shop. So
that's great. I have to tell you a funny story. I when I was in my 20s, I thought I'd try to be a vegetarian. And I went to the doctor because I had no energy and I was just exhausted. And I think I was 27 or whatever at the time. And she says, Monica, this is nothing I studied in med school, but your parents are German. I want you to leave here. I want you to go have a beer, a schnitzel, some sauerkraut, and potatoes, and your energy will be just fine.
Yeah. So true.
And it's true. It's so funny how this food, it just like nourishes in a way that
absolutely.
It's so good.
Absolutely.
Wow. So Teresa, take us back to March 13th when the world came to
oh my God.
Tell us the mask. Tell us your mask pivot story and how this all came to be.
We watched our Prime Minister basically shut the province down.
Mm-hmm.
And I had my staff, we had a full staff. I put it up on my laptop and I brought everybody into my office and let's just watch this 12 o'clock announcement or whatever. I think it was 12, 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And so just heard the news that, we're going to have to be turning stuff, off and down and everybody, like the whole planet, right?
Yeah.
So I knew that I can't keep my staff. I have to follow suit and follow what everybody else is doing, and not I can't run. I got to figure it out. So layoff. So everybody else is doing layoffs. So I had to lay everybody off. And that day that I laid everybody off, I went to the back of the shop where all my machines are, and the lights were down, and it was just me and Moya, my dog, and I just sat there and I cried. I just put my head between my legs and my knees, and I just like sobbed. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm looking at all my inventory, all my machinery, all of my, we've been working like January, February, March so hard for the craft shows that were coming up, like the One of a Kind show. And then we've got some shows. We're going to Edmonton. We're doing the Calgary Stampede. We've got the CNE. So we work really hard the first quarter of the year to get that stuff going, because we also face a lot of wholesale orders come May. So we try to get a good majority of it up and on the shelf and ready to roll. My shelves were full, full. All my inventory. I had over $1 million of inventory, finished goods on the shelf, and I was just like, oh my God. So no shows. All the stores are shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my only business. Of course, online too. But I mean, everybody just all of a sudden zips up the pocket, closes the wallet, and says, okay, we gotta count our pennies now and save and not spend. And so anyways, we're all watching the news like everybody else and seeing what's happening on Facebook and blah, 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 and all the news. Just so I saw, I don't know where the initial one was, but about face masks, about wearing cotton face masks. Mm-hmm. And then I saw something come up from the World Health Organization. And they were talking about, if you know how to make masks, make masks, we're going to be needing them. And that's very early in the game when everybody was like, masks, forget it. That's
so early, Teresa.
Don't think about masks. But then I heard the premier, the prime minister, Governor Cuomo from New York, some really big wigs talking about, oh my God, we need masks. Like, we need masks for our hospitals and for just everybody, right? And if you can make masks, then that we need your help. So at first I thought, well, I'll apply to the government agencies and make PPE for hospitals and this and that. But then I found out that you need special machinery, a special plant. Each line that runs to make these automated face masks is $1.5 million per line. They need for them to make it productively, to make it worth your while. So I'm like, hey, well, I don't have that kind of money. Forget it. And then I said, well, I'm just going to make some cotton face masks. So I have a lot of cotton in the shop already because I line my deerskin purses with cotton. I have elastic. I have all that sort of stuff. So within 24 hours from my head between my knees crying, I said to Patrick, I said, okay, hon, we gotta, I tried a few different patterns. Everybody's going online, learning, searching. I mean, the world does not know anything about face masks. Like, it's new for everybody. Nobody knew what a face mask was. I mean, when we saw Michael Jackson wear it forever ago, we thought he was weird, but he was staying away from bacteria, from germs, from viruses, from whatever, right?
Yeah.
So start doing some research, looking at all kinds of different patterns. I have to figure out sizing and all that stuff. So, spend a few hours trying to figure it out, trying this, trying that, cutting, sewing, serging. Am I doing a straight stitch? Am I doing a zigzag? Am I doing a serger? Am I doing elastic here, elastic there? Am I binding it? How am I doing it? So go through all of the different possible ways to do it. And then you have to think about productivity, efficiencies, costs, because I know in my mind, my heart, I was like, I think this is going to be big. I'm almost positive it's going to be big.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, hon. You know, just make a couple and see how it goes. And I'm like, anyways. So within the first day that I made some and I just put them on myself. And I just took some pictures. And I'm like, okay, mask, Instagram, here we go. DM me if you're interested. And it was just like my phone was just like off the hook. Ting, 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 ting. Messages like, how many can I get? Where, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my God. So then I went and stopped cutting them, and I got a metal die made so that I could layer up fabrics and cut, like, you know, 10 and 10
perfect.
at a time. Right. Yeah. So like I'm huge on efficiencies. So I was like, okay, how can I make this so that it's, you know, quicker, faster? Because oh my God, there's a huge demand. So that was March, early March. It was mid-March. We're now in mid-August, and I've made over 20,000 masks so far.
Oh, Teresa. Oh my God.
I know.
Oh my God, you must be dying. Now, I know Patrick, God love him. He stepped up to the plate. I love when you post him at the sewing machine.
Yeah.
So awesome. Because for people who don't know, Patrick is a rock star who can't perform right now, which sucks.
Yeah.
So, and I also love, you've shown a lot of videos of your very safe pop-up shop you do outside of your studio.
I've got that pop-up going on inside, so everything's available there. So until I can store properly.
He's so great. He's out there. It's pouring rain. He's like, still come down. Yeah, it's so nice. Yeah.
We're under the tent. We're still here. And surprisingly, we still had a ton of people come in the rain. They'll come out no matter rain or shine. So
good. Well, you guys, I mean, the two of you, there's such good energy. You know, it's medicine for people to come visit you. So that's great. Wow. So 20,000 masks.
Yeah, and we donate a lot too. We've been donating as we make them. We donate a bunch of them at a time too. So we want to make sure we give back to those that need them. A lot of the clinics, like midwife clinics, or one clinic that I've kind of, I don't use the word favored because they kind of get left out with PPE. And then there's, you know, some seniors homes, some the COVID clinic in Guelph we've donated to as well. So you just got to give back as much as you can when you can. Yeah, you know, sometimes we'll be so busy. I'm like, oh God, we haven't donated in a while. Okay, stop. You know, pull like 4 dozen masks. Let's get some masks and put them aside and give them. You know, okay, we make some calls. Okay, need some? Where are you? Do you need some more? You know, like even to the midwife clinics, like we're giving them to the clinics because the one midwife that I'm close with, she's working in a Mennonite community, and the Mennonites don't really have, you know, they're not. So when she goes into a home to visit, you know, mom or pregnant mom, she has to make sure that everybody else in the home is safe. So here, give it to the dad and the brothers and the sisters and stuff too. So
that's so nice.
There's little pockets of people that kind of get forgotten. So I try to hit those pockets, you know. Yeah. To really use it. So
yeah, that's so great. I love that. And what's your work situation right now? Were you able to bring back anybody to help?
I've got 5 people now. I've got
good.
5 plus Patrick and me. I'm just going to bring back my my office staff too, because invoicing is this high, and you know we've got so much paperwork to get caught up on from the last 6 months. So just like skeleton crew, just enough so we can thrive and stay on track without being, you know, inundated and overloaded with backlogged of stuff. So
that's good. And maybe get to Wasaga Beach.
Yeah, that would be nice. We're waiting for that. Patrick and I are talking about, you know, hopefully soon, before summer's out, take maybe a 2 or 3 day vacation and just, you know, get away from all of this and just kind of regroup and hit the beach. You know?
Yeah, if anyone deserves it, it's you. Oh my God.
Thanks, Fonzie.
Yeah, you totally deserve that. Yeah.
Can I show you something new?
Yes, please. Let's see.
Masks. Check out this.
See. I'm putting my glasses on now for this.
All right. We're ready.
Oh my God, the glamour line. Now that is something
Isn't that
I'm interested
pretty?
in. Yes.
So that's one.
Oh, so
And then,
fun.
I know. Well, you know what? We've kind of mastered the mask. We have like 100 different styles of masks now of the cotton. We've got
God.
like of course
Yeah.
we show the Wonder Woman, and then we've got kind of like
Yeah.
animal prints and stuff too. But so I've got
I
all the
love it.
fun cotton prints,
Yeah.
constantly changing them. I've just brought in some Halloween and some fall, so in the cottons. But
Oh,
I gotta do some pretty
so
ones.
great. Ooh, look at the lace. Wow.
Pretty,
Gorgeous.
pretty, pretty, pretty. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, those are great.
So that's the fun.
So
That's the
you're,
fun part. Like I've never been so
yeah.
excited. I went to a fabric store before. Usually I go to the fabric store. I pick up half a dozen or a dozen bolts of fabric. I'm like, all right, we're good. These are good for my purses, and that's
Yeah.
it. Right? I'm in. I'm out within
Wow.
an hour. I know exactly what I need. Well,
Yeah.
now, oh my God. So I've been fortunate enough, even prior to the store's opening, my supplier would let me come into his warehouse, and like we would have like a shopping cart each, and I'd be like, okay, this bolt, this bolt, this bolt, this bolt. I'm buying like sloths and sugar skulls and popcorn and unicorns and roses and
Yeah.
the hemp weed and rainbow fabric. I'm buying like, because in my mind I'm like, it's just bursting with like, there's something for everyone. And
Yeah.
if I have to make a mask, if I have to cut and sew,
Mm-hmm.
what makes the difference from cutting sewing this one or this one or this one
Yeah.
or this one? Like, offer variety and
Mm-hmm.
let the people feel, first of all, safe that they're wearing
Yeah.
it, and it's like they're fun, they're spirited. So
Yes.
have a mask that's not so like medical looking and blah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
I agree. Oh, they are so much fun.
yeah.
And
So
how are you feeling? Like, just I know that your focus is so much on the masks now. I'm sure there's also a big grieving because you're not working, maybe you are, I don't know, but not as much on your leather, right?
yeah, yeah.
So that's going to be hard on you
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
definitely, grieving is a good word, but
Mm-hmm.
I've been working on some stuff. We're gonna have this page coming up on the website soon called Quarantine Creations.
Oh
So
my
all
God,
these
how
things,
fun.
yeah, it's cool. I think
Yeah.
everybody. I think that should be a hashtag, right? I think
Yeah.
everybody should be doing something like that. But I have been working on some stuff. I have a new slipper in the works. We're ready to launch something that we were about to launch in March, which is working with another Indigenous artist, another collaboration project. So
Yeah.
that's going to be launching soon. So the interesting thing with all the mask viewers and new customers and fans of Hides in Hand, they're coming because they're learning about the masks, right? So
Mm-hmm.
they'll come to the shop or they'll go online and then they'll say, oh God, like, oh, they got these leather slippers and these leather purses and these bags and mitts and stuff. So
Yeah.
we're having a ton of new customers, new visitors to the website that
Great.
are going, oh my God. So you'll see on the order, okay, mask, and a pair of ballet slippers, or like
Nice.
mask, and a pair of mitts. So that's like, oh, so they're starting to see it, and they're being made aware of it, and they're seeing that it's then a lot of feedback saying, oh my God, I can't wait to come back in the fall and for Christmas
Mm-hmm.
time for my family. You got some great stuff here. So that's helping.
Yeah.
And the wholesale store, now that phase 3 is open up in pretty much everywhere across Canada,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of the wholesale stores are starting to just do some baby orders, right? So they're
Yeah.
just starting
Good.
to put some stuff on their shelves. They're being cautious with spending, which we
Yeah.
have to respect that for sure. And so some of the orders are coming in. They're getting ready for their moccasins and their mitt sales for the winter. So
Good.
those have been starting to come through. So it's not like it's a complete 100% dead stop.
Yeah.
It's they're starting to trickle through. So
Good. And I mean, all those badges behind you, they speak to how many wonderful relationships you have
oh yeah,
built on over the years. And I'm sure these stores they're
yeah,
not seeing you at the trade show, but
yeah.
they're
They are reaching out one by one. They're
Yeah.
starting to trickle in, and then I don't want to
Good.
inundate all my customers with email blasts. I tried to keep them. I try to just remind them that, yeah, we're here. We're whenever you're ready, we're ready for you. Whether it's an end user, whether it's a store, we're here. Like whatever you need, and keep in mind. I just ask them to keep in mind if you're going to order for your store, give us some time to make it in case we don't have it on the shelf. But like I said prior, at the beginning of our conversation, there's a lot of inventory on the shelf, so we can start to move that.
Yeah. That's so great, Teresa. And your social media, for people who don't follow you, they must, because you put so much effort into it. And do you do it all on your own?
Yes, I do.
Holy smokes. Yeah, it's really great. Do you find that that's really paid off for you over the last little while? Like just being
great.
Yeah, because I know it's kind of like before COVID. I mean, I still think like having, people on your email list and reaching out to them, that's really the big connection, because, they're part of your umbrella. You own, as they say, you own that customer once they're on your email list, right? But social media, I think, is even more powerful now than perhaps it was before.
I agree. Yeah. Because your social media is also very current, what's happening. I try to make it fun with, I'll say, okay, I've got, like I had some lime green leather not too long ago.
Yeah.
I said,
I love that.
I bought this lime green like in the winter time, and it was like, who's going to do lime green in the winter? But I knew that come spring, come summer, it's such a great, shock of color that people will love it. So, I would say, okay, I got these 2 hides. I can make maybe a dozen pair of moccasins. First come, first serve. Go, And it's just like, and so everybody, people love it. They're engaged. Yes, I want. And then I'm like, okay, now I got the pink one, or now I got this or that. So I think social media is really great because, our followers know that if she's posting something, it's not just like it's something current, it's something happening, it's something now, it's something new, and everybody wants something new. They're happy to see something, happening anew. Our customers don't want to see the same thing over and over again because they already have been there.
Yeah, for sure.
Current. You gotta stay current. You gotta switch it up. You gotta show that you're that you can pivot and that you're diverse and that you can just change. Just go with the flow. Go with the flow.
Totally. So I have to ask you, Teresa, on your day-to-day work life, are you the type of person who's very regimented with this is what I do on certain days, or are you more like the artist, like, holy crap, this is inspiring me, I got to do something now, and maybe there was something else you were going to do that day, but this other thing is setting you on fire? So
fire always gets me going first, for sure. If I have a new idea, everything that I had been working on is sitting on the back burner now, and just take precedence. But I don't have a schedule like Mondays is this and Tuesdays and that, and every day at this time I do that. I'm trying to get a little more disciplined with that, because having all these like 10,000 things to do in a day, man, you can, at the end of the day, you're like, oh, I really meant to get that out to this customer. I really meant to take a picture of this. And so I actually just bought a chalkboard.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I'm just writing my things so I can just like write it on there and scratch it off. And it's big. It's really, really big chalkboard. So it's in my face. It's in the shop in the back. So every time I walk by it, I can't ignore it. I have to pay attention to that chalkboard. So
good.
So there's, you just kind of go with the flow. I know what needs to be done. I kind of know, okay, this is first, second, third, right? I've got, like I said, my skeleton crew here. They're helpful for sure. So, we get it done.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, I know it is funny. I feel that way too. Like I could have all these things going, and like you said, it's the pressure. So I feel like this pressure. And then all of a sudden something goes bing. What if you did this? And I go, yeah. And then all that gets pushed aside. I get so excited about that new thing. And then by the end of the week, I'm kind of like, oh my God, you jackass. Like, why did you do that? You had all this other stuff to do.
Don't you find, Monica, that when you do something, and you have like an end result in your hand, you're like, oh, now you just feel better. And you don't
Yes.
feel like sluggish. You feel, even though like sometimes you can feel like sluggish when you've got all these things on your to do.
Mm-hmm.
But then as soon as you get creative and make like a quick fix or something, you're like, oh, I feel
You're
better.
right.
Now I can tackle these things with renewed energy. That's how it works for me,
Yes. You're
like I
right.
was doing Patrick goes back to Mississauga Tuesdays and Thursdays for band practice. So those Tuesdays and Thursdays, I usually stay at the shop. I usually, everybody's gone, it's quiet, and I can get a bit creative or work on something that get caught up in things that I need to get caught up on. And
Mm-hmm.
the one Thursday he was gone, I made a leather teddy bear. I don't know if you saw it on
Oh
my
yes, I saw it. I loved it.
right. And I'm like, oh my god! It was like a Thursday night fix, right?
Yeah.
And I cut it out and I sewed it and I did it all in one night. And I was feeling like so like empowered. I'm like, oh, I made something really cool and really different and just off the cuff, just like that. And it
Yeah.
just made me feel a lot more better about the overwhelming work ahead,
Yes.
it's like sometimes you got to do that. So you say, yeah, I still got it. Yeah, I'm still super creative. Even though these other things are kind of there, I got to do
Yeah.
them. But you need to
Okay, that is such great advice, because that's exactly how I feel. It's like there's like, okay, I got to do this uploading, and then I got to post this, and I got to write this, and those things are creative too, but they are not the same as grabbing a bunch of beads and making something beautiful.
right.
And you're absolutely right. There is so much satisfaction in that, and you do it. It just makes you feel like you're standing taller. Like, oh yeah,
Yeah. And like a
that's
leather bear. What does that have to do with hides in hand? It's not. It's not a mitt. It's not a purse. It's not a moccasin. It's not
yeah,
like But I just want. So the purpose behind the bear was like, it's gonna be like a keepsake, right? And as soon as I posted
yeah.
it, I had a young. I had a grandmother call me, DM me, and said, I'm new. I'm a new grandma. Baby's coming in a couple months. I want to get that for my grandchild. And then I thought, so she came to the pop up, and I sold it to her that Saturday and gone. And then I thought, oh, even though I needed that Thursday to create something a quick fix, so I feel strong and good again.
Mm-hmm.
Now my mind's going, okay, grandma, keepsake for baby. So now I'm doing, now I've just got one done going through now. I just got back from the embroiderers. So I put, a friend of ours just had a baby. So I put the baby's name, birth date, weight, birth name, date, weight on the back of the bear.
Oh,
A little pocket on the back of the bear. So you could put like baby's first like tooth or little locket of hair or whatever. So now
oh,
that simple idea, just dominoed into something more
yes.
better, more cooler, more awesome.
See,
right?
this is what I love about you. This is exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, who would have gone there with a teddy bear? Only
No,
Teresa.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, you're amazing.
You gotta make it more, right? And again, it goes back to like the matriarchs in our family. You gotta make more of what you have. How can you make it even better? Right?
Yeah.
So
that's so great. I was going to say, now if you could give a piece of advice to anyone, that's it right there. It's so true. Like, look at what you're doing and then ask yourself, how could this be more?
Yeah. There's always good, better, best, right? So, it's different. There's good, better, best, and different variations of it, different price points of it, different reasons for it. But I always push it to the limit, man. That's just me. Have you ever seen my booth? I have a 20-foot booth, and I've got 10 million thousand products in it. You can't even walk through there. I mean, come on, ridiculous.
But I love your booth because it's like, when I go in your booth, I see like the mom with the newborn. I see the grandmother. I see the rocker guy with the cowboy hat. I see it's like everybody is in there.
There's something for everybody. Absolutely.
There is something for everybody. Like if anybody asks you, what's your demographic? You just say the whole freaking world is my demographic.
Everybody.
Yeah. That's great, Teresa. Oh, I'm so excited for you. This has been really great. And thank you for sharing the Wasaga Beach story. I love it. And so now, I mean, you must be missing the CNE too, because I'm sure that the Midway and all that, it's
all that. I love the CNE. Love. And after working Saga Lodge and Saga Beach, my younger sister and I went to go work work in CNE. I mean, I was serving ice cream. She was selling jewelry, right? So we kind of always been dealing with selling stuff to people and but fun things,
For
CNE
sure.
was great.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I miss that too. The shows, just that interaction with people. And where do you kind of see things going with all of this?
You know what? I don't know. I wish I had that crystal ball that we could look into it, right? So for me, I'm just going to stay on masks because they're not going away anywhere anytime soon. I'm looking at the demand for them. There's still a demand for them, not as strong, obviously, as it was, 6 months ago or 5 months or 4 months ago. But I'm selling masks to wholesalers now, so they're getting them into their stores. I have a bunch of wholesalers that absolutely love them. So the wholesalers are saying, yeah, we need masks. We're opening up. Our customers want them. So it's bringing people out a little bit more. They're no one's so afraid anymore. The people are kind of going out. So I think the more we just get comfortable with the general pace, the slow pace, not a fast pace. I think everybody just continues to social distance and continue to stay within your social bubble. And just follow protocol. I know there's a lot of conspiracy people out there that are all like have their opinions on it, but majority says to do what we're doing. The numbers are dropping. I think we just got to follow that. One of the shows opened up in Calgary in November, so I'm not going to go to it. I'm not ready to fly yet. But that shows so if the government of Alberta has deemed that trade show to be going on with obvious changes and every other booth and wider aisles and less people, it's showing that it's gonna come back slowly. It's not a hard no. So slowly starting to get better, slowly starting to come back. I think everybody just needs to be comfortable with what you're doing. Pivot your lives, pivot your business. Like those of us that are still trying to maintain, just we didn't do anything wrong. It's not our fault. This has happened, right? All we can do is just look with what we have, look at what we're capable of. And and if we're not capable of it, that's okay too. Just chill out, ride the wave until you are capable to come on board, right? So everybody just got to go at their own pace. Everybody's so different. Do what you can, and what you can't do, leave it for the others, because there are other people that can do it for you. So if you can't make a mask, go and buy one. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay. If and the government's helping you, well, the government's helping you until you can get back to work or whatever, right? So go with the flow. Just go with the flow. Don't try to change.
Yeah, for sure. And enjoy summer, right? We got to max out on this warm weather before it's gone.
Yeah. It's been a great summer.
It has.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Teresa, you are such a treat. I'm so happy that you were able to do this today.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for keeping us women talking and learning about all of our businesses together. And it's nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice change. Trust me, it's a nice change.
Thank you for
keeping us all in the loop.
No problem. Aw.
Thank you.
I miss you too. But I want to invite you now. We're going to have a 10-minute Instagram after party.
Okay.
All right. You're into that? Okay.
I'll see you on Insta.
We'll see you on Insta. Thanks, Teresa. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening to Teresa and her story. I just loved that story about the CNE and about the CNE, about Wasaga Beach and her getting caught with that little boy on the swing set and all that. So cute. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the interview. I would love for you to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you are watching this on YouTube. And thanks for tuning in, you guys. We will see you over at the after party of the Get to Know Her show. See you on Instagram.